Ever feel like you're stuck in a loop just spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere? I know that feeling all too well. For years I was broke, frustrated, and felt like my life was on a treadmill to nowhere. But then, I made a conscious decision to change. It wasn't about adding 100 new habits overnight. Instead, it was about subtraction. It was about quitting the things that were secretly draining my energy, my focus, and my bank account. Today, I want to share the 7 things I quit that took me from being completely broke to becoming a millionaire. And trust me, if I can do it, you absolutely can too. This isn't about some magic formula. It's about making intentional choices that compound over time. So, if you're ready to stop wasting your life and start building the future you deserve, stick around. Let's get into it. The very first thing I had to quit was blaming others. This one is tough because it's so easy to do. It was my boss's fault I didn't get the raise. It was the economy's fault I couldn't find a better job. It was my upbringing's fault I had these limiting beliefs. I had an excuse for everything. But here's the hard truth. Blame is a cage. It keeps you powerless. The moment I stopped pointing fingers and started taking radical ownership of my life, everything changed. I realized that my circumstances were a direct result of my choices, my actions, and my mindset. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but it was also incredibly empowering. Suddenly, I wasn't a victim of my life. I was the creator of it. I started asking myself, okay, this situation sucks. What am I going to do about it? That shift from blame to responsibility was the foundational step. You can't build a new future on a foundation of excuses. Number 2, I quit the need for instant gratification. We live in a world that sells us quick fixes. Want food? It's delivered in minutes. Want entertainment? Stream it instantly. We're conditioned to want everything right now. And I was completely addicted to it. I'd spend money I didn't have on things I didn't need just for that temporary rush. A new gadget, a fancy dinner out, the latest sneakers. It felt good for a moment, but it was robbing me of my future. True success, especially financial success, is a long game. It's built on delayed gratification. Instead of buying that expensive coffee every day, I started investing that money. Instead of binge-watching a new series all weekend, I used that time to learn a new skill. It was about choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. It requires discipline, but every time you choose your future over your immediate desires, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. The third thing I quit, and this was huge for my productivity, was multitasking. I used to pride myself on being a great multitasker. I'd be on a phone call, answering emails, and trying to write a report all at the same time. I thought I was being efficient, but in reality, I was just doing 3 things poorly. Science backs this up. Our brains aren't designed to focus on multiple complex tasks at once. What we call multitasking is actually just rapid task switching, and it's incredibly inefficient. It drains your mental energy and leads to mediocre results. So I adopted a new rule, 1 thing at a time. When I work, I focus solely on the task at hand. I put my phone in another room, close unnecessary tabs, and give my full attention to what's in front of me. The results were astounding. My work quality improved, I finished tasks faster, and I felt less stressed. Stop trying to do everything at once. Focus. Do one thing. Do it well. And then move on to the next. Next up, at number 4, I quit hanging around negative people. You've probably heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. I used to think it was a cliche, but it is 100% true. I was surrounded by friends who were complainers. They complained about their jobs, their relationships, their lack of money, everything. And that negativity is contagious. It seeps into your own mindset and reinforces the idea that life is hard and success is for other people. Making a change here was painful. I had to distance myself from some people I had known for years. It wasn't about cutting them off harshly, but about intentionally spending more time with people who were ambitious, positive, and solution-oriented. I sought out mentors and joined communities of people who were playing the game of life at a higher level. Their energy, their habits, and their belief systems started to rub off on me. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, not those who drag you down. The fifth habit I dropped was mindless consumption. This applies to everything: social media, news, and material possessions. I used to spend hours every day scrolling through Instagram, feeling envious of other people's lives. I'd watch the news and get filled with anxiety and fear about things I couldn't control. I was a consumer, not a creator. So, I went on a strict information diet. I unfollowed accounts that made me feel bad about myself and followed people who inspired and educated me. I stopped watching the 24/7 news cycle and focused on my own little world, on the things I could actually influence. Instead of scrolling, I started creating. I started a small side project. I started writing down my ideas. I started learning. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Stop giving it away for free to things that don't serve your goals. Be intentional about what you consume, because what you feed your mind will ultimately determine your reality. Coming in at number 6, I quit ignoring my health. When I was broke, my health was the last thing on my mind. I ate cheap processed food, I rarely exercised, and I survived on a few hours of sleep. I thought I was hustling, but I was actually just burning myself out. I realized that my body is the vehicle that carries me towards my goals. If the vehicle is broken down, it doesn't matter how great the destination is, I'm never going to get there. You can't be a millionaire if you're too sick to enjoy it. So, I made my health a non-negotiable priority. I started with small changes: a 20-minute walk every day, swapping soda for water, going to bed 30 minutes earlier. It wasn't about a dramatic overhaul, but about building sustainable habits. The increase in energy, clarity, and focus was immediate. Investing in your health is the best investment you will ever make. It pays dividends in every single area of your life. Your wealth is built on your health. And finally, the 7th thing I quit was the fear of failure. This fear kept me playing small for so long. I was afraid to start a business because what if it failed? I was afraid to ask for a raise because what if they said no? I was afraid to invest because what if I lost money? This fear paralyzes you. It keeps you in your comfort zone, which, by the way, is the most dangerous place to be. The breakthrough came when I reframed my definition of failure. I stopped seeing it as an endpoint and started seeing it as a data point. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every successful person I know has a long list of failures behind them. The only true failure is not trying at all. I adopted a new mantra: what's the worst that could happen? Usually the worst-case scenario wasn't that bad, and the potential upside was life-changing. So I started taking calculated risks. I started that business, I asked for that raise. I made those investments. Some worked, some didn't. But every single time, I learned something that moved me forward. So there you have it. The 7 things I quit to go from broke to millionaire. Blaming others, instant gratification, multitasking, negative people, mindless consumption, ignoring my health, and the fear of failure. Quitting these things wasn't easy, and it didn't happen overnight. It was a process of conscious, daily choices. But these choices created a powerful ripple effect that completely transformed my life. It's not about what you start doing, but what you stop doing that often makes the biggest difference. Take a look at your own life. What's one thing from this list that you can start quitting today? Don't try to tackle all 7 at once. Just pick one. Commit to it. And watch how your world begins to change. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gave you some value and a little bit of inspiration for your own journey. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Which one of these 7 things resonates with you the most? Let's continue the conversation down there. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.